Hey folks, Tara here from the Alpine Ascents office, and today we're going over food for your 6-day mountaineering course. This menu will also work great for our 9 and 10-day courses, since you only cook for yourself the first 6 days of those programs. If you adjust the quantities, you can also use this for any of our other courses, like our 8-day, 13-day, Alpine Rock, and so on. A couple key points to go over before we start. The first and most important is to pack food that you already know you like. If you don't like it at home, you're not going to like it in the backcountry, so pack foods that are familiar to you. The next is to test your meals and snacks before you come. Especially if backcountry cooking is something that's new to you, it's great to just test them in your own kitchen. Find the quantities and the ingredients that work for you. We also want to make sure we're getting a good variety of food. So we want to cover our carbs, fats, and proteins, as well as get a variety of sweet, savory, and salty items. And finally, remember that all of this is going in your pack. So we want to be thinking about weight, what fits in our pack, and how we can reduce the packaging so that we're left with less trash to carry out at the end. So starting with breakfast, we want to keep our breakfast pretty simple and easy to put together, but still make sure that we're getting 300 to 600 calories each morning. If you're a coffee drinker, you want to make sure to bring some type of instant coffee. The Vias from Starbucks are actually pretty good. And only bring as many coffees as you'll realistically drink in those 5 mornings. A lot of people like to do a granola, whatever your favorite granola is, with powdered milk. Have a hearty cereal option, so it's a great way to go. You can also do oatmeal. This is my favorite. Whatever pack of oatmeal you like, there's tons of variety out there. I'll grab my favorite flavors and I'll supplement those with fruit, nuts, and nut butter. So here I've got dried blueberries that I poured out from a larger bag. My favorite is to have some dried apricots that I cut up. And these single serving nut butter packs are really handy and they come in a variety of flavors so I can mix it up. If you think you'll be going through a lot of peanut butter, there are some larger squeezable packs that are a great option. Now, I don't like to only have sweet breakfast. Some mornings I really prefer a savory breakfast. So I'm also going to bring instant grits. These are really easy and work the same way as oatmeal, just adding hot water. But I'll salt those up. This is a container of salt that I'll use for a lot of my meals. And I'll add bacon. This bacon is pre-cooked, and this will also go in some of my dinners, so I'm getting great versatility there. Moving into lunch. The refrain you may have heard before is that lunch starts right after breakfast and ends right before dinner. So we're just going to be snacking through the whole day. We're not going to stop and take a long lunch break, and we definitely won't be cooking our lunches. We'll be moving and training on the mountain, so we'll take 10 to 15-minute breaks, and we want things that we can easily eat in those short time periods. Between all of our lunch food in a single day, we wanted to add up to 800 to 1600 calories. The higher end of that range is going to be for our bigger days, like our first day hiking in with our heavy packs and our summit day. On the first day, I'm going to bring something fresh like a deli sandwich. This is going to taste really good. Another popular option is leftover pizza. So if you order pizza the night before or even cook a frozen pizza, then wrap up some of those pieces. The next day, you can have those for lunch. You could even do half the pizza for your first lunch and half the pizza for that first dinner that night. After the first day, still like to have a big ticket item. So I'm gonna make tortilla wraps. So I have tortillas, a big stick of salami, and a block of my favorite cheese. And each morning in my tent before we get started for the day, I'll take a tortilla, slice some salami and some cheese, and wrap that up. I'll probably do 2 per day. Maybe you only want 1, maybe you think you'll need 3 per day. Tortillas are great because they don't get easily crushed and they slide really nicely into the back of your pack. You can also do something similar to this with naan. Naan has good constitution and holds up pretty well in a pack. You can also do it with bagels, though they take up a little more space and they get a little bit crushed. But any combination, I also really love doing cream cheese and smoked salmon. If you like tuna, you can do that. You can get really creative here. Then I'll have a selection of bars. Really important to have variety here. We see folks bring 20 of the same flavor Cliff Bar and it's never a good idea. You'll get so sick of them. So I'll bring variety from things like Pro bars to these simple fig bars. You can find these anywhere, even at gas stations. I love these. And I'll budget for about 2 bars per day, and I'll really try to mix it up. Then I'll have my favorite dried fruit, big bag of nuts. I don't love trail mix that has raisins and chocolate in it, but if you do like traditional trail mix, that's awesome, bring that. Jerky is a great source of protein. I'll also bring these jerky bars. And then salty snacks. Salty snacks are my favorite in the mountains. They're what I crave the most. So I'll bring Pringles. Pringles are great because they're protected and they slide really nicely into a pack. And Cheez-Its are a favorite of mine. I won't bring this box. I'll pour them into a big Ziploc. I'll also have some energy snacks. So these are the type of thing that you find like in sports stores, running stores, energy blocks and energy chews and goos. These are gonna be really great, especially on my summit day when it's harder to have time to eat a whole bar, but I can stash these in my pocket and they'll give me good energy and good fuel as we're moving. If these are new to you, but you'd like to use them on your course, we definitely recommend trying them out beforehand. Now for dinner. For dinner, we're trying to get 800 to 1200 calories per night. We'll say first that it's always an option to bring dehydrated dinners. These are super lightweight and really easy, you just add water. However, they're hard in the digestive system, especially at altitude and especially over several consecutive days. So if you're planning to eat these on your course, we recommend only using them for 1, maybe 2 of your dinners. Keep in mind also that if you're taking this course as preparation for a bigger expedition, we won't be eating these on those long climbs. We prefer to cook fresh meals, which generally ends up being less expensive in the end. Some things to keep in mind with your dinner is that it's nice to double up, meaning having the same thing for 2 different dinners. It's less ingredients to keep track of and often means less packing, but we'll show you plenty of individual options today. The first and a fan favorite is mac and cheese. This is my favorite kind, and I know that I can go through a regular sized box by myself in a single sitting. So if I'm gonna double up and have this for 2 dinners, I'm gonna buy the family size. And before I go, I'll open up this box, pour the pasta, divided into 2 Ziploc containers, and I'll cut out the instructions, slip those into the Ziploc bag like I've done here. That way I don't have to take this whole cardboard box. And to my mac and cheese, I'll add bacon from what we saw earlier in breakfast. This is a great example of where it's helpful to know your personal quantities. So a lot of people don't go through an entire box of macaroni by themselves in a night. So if that's you, you can just divide the macaroni accordingly and leave some of it at home. My next dinner will be Indian food. These are Indian food packs that are boil in a bag. So I'll just bring a pot of water to a boil, stick them in there for about a minute to heat them up, and then pour them on my rice. This is from Trader Joe's. I love their Indian food packs, especially the Jaipur vegetables, and this is a brand called Tasty Bite, which is widely available at most grocery stores. With that, I'll have rice, also boil in a bag. This is a quinoa brown rice combo, but there are tons of different boil in a bag rice options. Next, I'll have a sausage pasta. So I'll have penne, or whatever my favorite pasta noodle is, put it in a Ziploc the way I did with my mac and cheese, cook it according to the directions, and then I'll make a sauce with this tube tomato paste and just some pasta water. These tubes are awesome because they slip really nicely into your pack, they're flexible, and they roll down as we get rid of the contents, which is just nice to have it get smaller, and they're less likely to leak all over your pack than a plastic container with a lid is. They also make these with pesto, which is actually probably what I would use because I prefer pesto. I'll have that with sausage. These are Adele's chicken sausage and they're pre-cooked. So all I need to do is heat them and slice them up. I'll just do 2 for one pasta night. If I was going to do 2 nights of pasta, then I would do 2 with the first and 2 with the second. And these sausages are widely available and come in a variety of flavors. Next up, I'll do sort of a Mediterranean style couscous. So I'll just grab some couscous, pour that into a Ziploc bag, and if I need the instructions, I'll cut it out the same way. And into my couscous, I'll mix olives, nice olive pack from Trader Joe's. You can find them other places. And tuna. Big fan of these tuna packets. This one is a little big for what I'm making right now. They come in smaller sizes, which is probably what I would opt for. And they also have a variety of flavors. I personally love the lemon pepper one. These come in chicken as well, if you prefer. And for my final dinner, I'll make ramen. So whatever ramen I like. Today I've got the standard top ramen, but whatever brand you prefer. One that I really like is called Nongshim. I'll make that with some of this pre-cooked tofu. That'll give me some great protein, make the ramen go further. And then I'll bring a little hot sauce. You can use it on a variety of things, but especially in my ramen. After dinner, I'll definitely be wanting some dessert. So while I relax in my tent at night, I'll make a hot drink, either hot chocolate or spiced apple cider, or maybe a nice cup of herb tea. And I'll have some cookies, either Oreos or Chips Ahoy. Maybe I brought a bag of Pepperidge Farm cookies, something like that. I also always like to have a nice bar of chocolate. A final quick word about hydration is that it can be hard to stay hydrated while we're in the mountains. Something that will help is flavoring our water. So here we've got Noon tablets, but there are tons of options. Gatorade powder, Crystal Light, anything like that. They'll flavor our water, often add electrolytes, and make it easier for us to drink throughout the day. Another thing that will help are hot soups. So these are chicken cup of soups. Miso soups are also great. Those are going to be a savory way for us to increase our water intake. What we recommend is bringing 1 per night. You can kind of make that right when you get back to your camp and drink it while you wait for the rest of your dinner to cook. This is going to be especially helpful for those courses that are in the colder months of May, June, and September. So there's your food for all 6 days. As you can see, there's tons of flexibility. You can swap things out for dietary restrictions or any of your personal favorites. If you've got other questions, there's awesome resources on the logistics page of our website, or you can email climb@alpineascents.com.